AI is going to make a lot of jobs go away, but maybe it'll create new opportunities. We're missing the human element, right? Like how is going to make the world a better place? That's probably the most important thing that's being missing from any of these conversations. Everything is always so data driven and just like technology driven, all this cool technology and how much they're making this and that. But you're kind of like, I feel like the human element's missing so many times out of these conversations. Because my understanding about technology was that it was going to help us do our jobs better so that we create more free time so we could actually enjoy like life. But I feel like it's done the opposite. I feel like it's just it turned us more into machines. I'm not even worried about the machines. I feel like the machines are going to be more relaxed than we are. We're out of control. So as humans, I feel like most humans like are not taking weekends off, you know? I mean, that's a luxury now to take your weekend off. I feel like we're just working all the time and never stopping. So,
well, John, as I said, it is like my absolute privilege to have you on the show. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Just as an overview to get us started, tell the listeners and the watchers a little bit about you, just your high level.
High level. My name is John Kraski. Obviously, a lot of people know me from LinkedIn. It is wild. I've been active on the platform for about 4 years in terms of posting content. So, yeah, it's funny. I had a call yesterday. People are just like, the guy's like, I recognize you from somewhere, and he didn't know where. And then I was like, oh, LinkedIn. I recognize your videos. So, yeah, I've been active on LinkedIn for about 4 years. When I got into the Web3 space, I started leveraging LinkedIn for not only my jobs at the time, but then also to build my personal brand. I published a book called The Future of Community 2023, I believe, about how brands can leverage Web3 and emerging technologies to grow their business. You can find that on Amazon. It was published with Wiley, one of the world's largest publishers. Got that actual book deal from a cold DM on LinkedIn. Yeah, I created an innovation events company, hosted almost 40 events around the world in the Web3 space. Cities like Los Angeles, New York, Dubai, London, Amsterdam. That was amazing. Ended up selling that company to the last company I worked for that was based in London. But then myself and the CEO, we moved to Dubai and helped open up the headquarters there. So that was a part of my kind of LinkedIn journey. I had a TV show in the space called NFT Heat. We did almost 90 episodes. And then I'm getting kind of back into the interviewing space. I'm going to be going to Paris for Paris Blockchain Week. This is kind of like this announcement is like you're getting it like 2 hours before it's actually being official. But I'll be going to Paris Blockchain Week. It's hosted inside the Louvre, and I'll be their official podcast host. So I'll be interviewing about 10 to 15 different executives that are leaders in the blockchain, crypto, DeFi, and finance spaces. So I'm super excited about that. Get back into that. I'm going to be actually doing a new show soon called How to Make Money in the Middle East, which will be super fascinating. Basically, the bridge between the West and the Middle East, showing people how they can make money in the Middle East, which is one of the most captivating regions, I think, in the world right now, after having spent some time there. So hope to be that bridge. But yeah, that's about a little bit about me now. I know we're gonna go back to where it all started soon, but yes, that's John, 2025 version.
Okay. There is a lot going on, and we will get to all of it. But yes, now my personal favorite part is going back in time to young you, where it all started. I mean, tell us that first job. I like to say, tell us about your first dollar you ever earned.
Yeah, it's so funny. Because I was literally back in Seattle last week where I grew up, helping my mom in my childhood home. She has two houses on the same street, her house and then my grandma's house. And my grandma passed away like 5 years ago, so my mom's actually going to consolidate because she just doesn't need two houses anymore. So where we were going through all my old stuff, and yeah, it's actually a great question because I literally kind of went into the Wayback Machine over the last week, just going through old stuff and kind of reminiscing about all the different things. And I was actually even sleeping in my childhood bedroom too, which is crazy. So, yeah, that'd been cool. We could have done this. I guess if we did the interview last week when we were supposed to, we would have done the interview from my childhood bedroom. That could have been wild. Actually, now thinking about it, that would have actually even been better. But
that would have been amazing.
Yeah, that would have been. I guess.
And the first, definitely. But
Yeah.
yeah, I actually
But
also
I know
have
it.
my childhood bedroom still. So my mom is still in the house I grew up in. So I relate.
Yeah. So I guess my first job would have been a paper route. I believe that was the first time I had a paper route, but I'm not going to just focus on that because there's a whole group of jobs that I had within that period that I think are all sort of relevant. Um, Shortly after that, I think I worked at a baseball card shop, but then I started to get into my kind of like blue collar, hardworking phase. Not the paper route was kind of hard work as well, but
Mm-hmm.
my grandpa had a furniture store growing up, so I worked there. He didn't give me any preferential treatment. He made me clean like the toilets, and I had to clean like, the showroom floor. I had to go in the back and mow the grass. I almost cut my toe off once. Like I had a lawnmower accident, which is crazy. Like it's okay. I didn't lose my toe, but I literally
Good.
cut my toe with like the blade of a lawnmower, which is like wow, crazy.
Oof.
I also
Mhm.
I also worked at a grocery store in the meat market. I wanted to be a bagger, but for some reason they just didn't hire me. So, like for that was like the cool, sexy job at the grocery store for somebody my age. But I ended up having to clean the meat department, and I did that for like a year and a half. It was disgusting. But I again, I had an accident. I cut my finger right here. There's like you can't really see it, but I literally have a scar when I cut my
I
finger
can
with a
see it.
fish
Yeah.
knife. With a fish knife. With a fish knife.
Oh,
Disgusting. But it's
oh,
okay. It's cool. But it's. So I
it's a
did
cool
that, and
scar.
then I also had a job where I worked at United Parcel Service (UPS), and I would have to load not the regular delivery trucks you see driving. No, I loaded 2 semi trucks per night, big like 18 wheelers. And I did that for a few years. It was a good job because it paid well. It got full medical. I think at the time, boy, I had that job maybe 94, 95. I'm dating myself, but I think at the time you got like $25 an hour, which was crazy back even then.
Whoa. Whoa.
That was like
Hmm.
real money. Yeah, it was good money. It was hard work. But
Hmm.
basically, I guess the point of all this is my DNA of working is mostly these really, really hard working, grueling, manual labor type jobs. So when I see people, I don't know, I feel like this new generation is so soft. They have their hero stories like, oh, like, like my daddy cut me off from my trust fund and I had to go like, figure out how to get like, a desk job, whatever. Like, I don't think I know what hard
Hmm.
work is. When I see people that are working at restaurants or driving Amazon delivery trucks or whatever, gardeners, whatever it may be. I understand that. I've done those jobs. I get it. So I understand the value of hard work. I know I'm not soft. My DNA is like hard work, like putting in the work. Because I realize the people that really work the hardest every day, a lot of times they're not the ones that maybe are necessarily making the most money. I've learned to separate hard work from making money because I understand what hard work is. So I'm so grateful for all those jobs, but my upbringing is pretty, yeah, it's pretty blue collar. So
Yeah. What did so did you say your parents owned that store or did you say your
my grandpa
your
did. No, my
grandpa? Okay.
grandpa did,
Okay. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Okay.
then my parents got divorced, and it was on my grandpa on my dad's side. And I would have like, yeah, if things had played out differently, I'd probably own that store and still live in Seattle and whatnot. But that's not the way it played out. But yeah, no, my grandpa, yeah, I drove the furniture truck for a few different years, for a couple of years, and then I was driving the delivery truck and then also having to like clean up the showroom and the bathrooms and
Hmm.
whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I was delivering like really heavy furniture, sofas, sofas, big, big china cabinets, and it was good though. Yeah, because actually, it's funny because I was up helping my mom move last week, and the movers came to do some stuff, and I got right in the mix. They're just like, "What? This guy's like in the mix." I was helping him move stuff and this and that, and they were like shocked. They're like, "Really? You know how to do this?" I was like, yeah, you don't forget. It's like riding a bike. You don't forget how to do it. So, I don't have an issue getting dirty and still just
Hmm.
helping out. I'm not above that at all. So, yeah. So that's basically that's my first cluster of jobs, which was probably over a 5, 6 year period. And I had one other job too. I worked at Baskin Robbins, and I
Oh.
was named best scooper in Seattle 3 years in a row. That's totally. I have that on my LinkedIn profile, but that's not actually true. But yeah, I named myself best scooper in Seattle 3 years in a row.
You named it.
So yeah, so I worked there as well. But that was not a good job because I was like in an awkward growth phase. So I was still like going through like puberty and trying to like, I was like 5'7" all through high school. And then literally like freshman year of college, I grew to 6'4". I grew like really, people think I'm
Whoa.
short, by the way, but I'm really tall. Um, so yeah, I grew like 9 inches freshman year of college. But yeah, working in an ice cream store and still going through this awkward phase where you're not growing into, your body fully and stuff and having ice cream around, it was not a good combo. Yeah, but so I had a lot. Yeah, I've done. Yeah, I've done a lot of hard work manual jobs, but the UPS job, I was in the best shape ever. I was loading 2 semi trucks a
Mm,
night. It was like a 4-hour shift. I was just drenched, drenched
yeah.
in sweat. But it was great shape. Really, really just taught me, wow, yeah, what hard work really, really looks like.
Yeah. 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 That's like 4 hours of hardcore gym every night. I mean,
Yeah,
that
and I did
is
that 5 days. I think it was a
crazy.
Monday through Friday. So I did that 20 hours a week.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was yeah. It was
Yeah.
I don't even think I needed to go to the gym. Maybe I
Wow.
did.
No.
Uh, but yeah, but it was yeah, it was good. I enjoyed all those jobs actually. To be honest with you, those are jobs where you're still like formulating your dreams and kind of like
Hmm.
thinking what's
Hmm.
beyond, right? All those jobs you're dreaming about, kind of like the next step, right? And then you get
Yeah.
in the corporate world and you're just like, wow, really? This is not as glamorous as I once thought, right? Because I
Yes. Yes.
yeah yeah so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. All I wanted growing up was a corporate job so I could wear nice high heels because I had an aunt that worked in corporate and she wore such beautiful high heels. And now I'm like, I do not want to wear high heels.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. I did not wear high heels in my first
no,
job. So
okay, all
just
right.
fun fact for the audience.
Okay, good. I'm glad we cleared that up. All right,
Yes.
so that was all your like early 20s, or was that all high school still?
Oh
Or
no, no, no.
did
That would
you
be
do
the paper
college? I
route.
don't.
Paper route was that was probably 13 to 22. It was almost a 10-year period of
Oh,
all those
wow.
jobs. Yeah, yeah. I
Mm,
was working. I mean, I was working basically since
mm,
13. Yeah,
okay.
I was
Yeah.
I was working. Yeah, I was even unless a lot of those jobs were even during high school and stuff. So yeah, I was in hindsight, maybe I wouldn't have done that because some of that stuff affected my studies because I was working so much with like
Mm,
while balancing academics. I did one smart thing though. The final 2 years of undergrad, I said I'm not going to do any work. I'm just going to focus on academics and really, really position
mm,
myself to have like an amazing GPA. And it worked. I ended up my final 2 years of school. I transferred as a community college student because I was trying to figure out some things.
mm,
What I wanted to do. Long story, but I thought I was going to become an airline pilot actually. So after high school, I thought I was going to go become an airline pilot, and they said not to do that. So ended up not going to aeronautical school, and then went to community college, took business classes, and just kind of figured out, all right, I'll be a business major. But the final 2 years, I decided I'm not going to work at all and just focus on academics. And I ended up graduating with a 3.93, summa cum
mm,
laude. So I finally actually applied myself and said, all right, I'm just going to focus strictly on academics, and I have all these jobs, and it worked.
mm,
And then that helped me. That GPA helped me. Eventually, I went to University of Southern California where I got my MBA, which is one of the top MBA programs in the country. And
mhm,
um, yeah, but that it was even hard work to get in there. Long story. I didn't get in the first time I applied, and I spent two
mm,
years studying the GMAT to get my score up 100 points. So I understand what hard work is. That's me. I'm not nothing. None of my successes come easy or
mm,
just naturally. So it's all through
mhm.
hard work. Hard
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you said a couple times there, long story. So tell us a little bit about that long story, especially trying to figure it out. Because I mean, I was there. I took 2 years off of school just because I didn't have a clue what I was going to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about that, and like then what led you to do your MBA.
Um, I think it was just that I was a late bloomer because, like I said, I grew 9 inches freshman year of college. So I think as people like the kind of like the maturation process is happening with people in high school. That happened for me in college. So that was the thing. I was literally like four. I felt like I was 4 or 5 years behind everybody. So I was, a lot of that was I just grown into my body, right? So I was a crazy growth spurt for freshman year of college.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was like, I don't think I want to be an airline pilot. I was like, oh, I'll be a commercial airline pilot. I was going to go to the school Embry-Riddle in Florida, and I thought that was the path. And I just said, yeah, I don't know if I want to be just flying airplanes my entire life. So I just wasn't passionate enough about it. I thought I liked the idea of traveling and things like that, but I realized maybe I didn't want to just actually be the pilot, like all the like. So I like still the idea of traveling and flying around the world and seeing cool places. But I just realized like being a pilot, I wasn't that passionate about like the technical aspects and things like that. So then I was just like, oh, like I guess my backup plan was always like, oh, I'll do business, and I was always interested in the intersection of entertainment and business. So I was just like, okay, wow, maybe I'll go to like I studied which schools had that. Like USC was probably one of the top schools that had that blend of business and entertainment. They already had like a business and entertainment concentration. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll do this in undergrad. That after I transfer, I was taking community college classes, just like getting credits and just trying to figure out move. But I was working that whole time, so I just didn't have the right GPA. I couldn't get in there, so ended up getting into the school, Seattle U, which was it's a Jesuit school in Seattle, and I was like, okay, this is like I gotta like address this academic stuff. I'm just not like I'm not where I'm at and where I want to go. So I got into Seattle U. I was initially a marketing major, and then I had a mentor, and they convinced me, oh, you should do accounting because you're really logical. And I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm naturally good at math, and I was just like, all right, I guess I'll go down this path. It's like, oh, it's a good foundation for a business career and whatnot. So then I went down this whole path of being an accountant, and like I said, I got like a 3.93. I crushed it. Interviewed with the big, I don't know if it was the big 5 or big 6 accounting firms at the time. I don't know. Now it's the big 4, but like KPMG, Pricewaterhouse. Couldn't get a job in Seattle. And then I said, I'm determined. I was like, I'm going to get into one of these companies. So then I ended up getting a job with KPMG in the Bay Area, and had to move down there. So that's how that all happened. But yeah, and then I remember my first day of being at KPMG, and nothing against KPMG, but I was just like I was auditing a heart scanner manufacturer, and I was like doing accounts payable stuff, and I was just like, wow. I was like, I worked all this time and all this hard work, and I'm like, this cannot be the rest of my life. I was like, I literally, my first day of work, I felt like a nightmare. I was like, wow. I was just like, this is crazy. This is not what I want to do. But I spent all this time. I got to pay my bills. I'm on my own. I just got to like make this work. So, but I knew literally the first day I remember, I was like, wow, this cannot be the rest of my life. And then I feel like I've spent the last 20 years trying to like, kind of get out of, I spent like probably 15 years, 20 years almost in accounting and finance jobs after that, which is crazy. Wow. So then I went down this track, and I never made the move to just get out of it. I saw other people do it, and I was always kind of envious, and I was just like, why am I not making that move? So I did it like in the last 4 years, like when we started the show, like that last 4 year kind of retrospective of kind of the things I've done and about me. I feel like that is more in line with what I wanted to be doing my entire life. It just literally took me 20 years to get there. So,
wow. I did not know that. Okay. So you stayed at KPMG for like 20 years, or just in the accounting?
No. I was at KPMG for a few years. Then I went to Pricewaterhouse, super lateral move. Then I went to JP Morgan. Well, at the time it was Washington Mutual, but then it was Washington Mutual at the time. But then JP Morgan Chase bought them because they were part of the financial collapse of 2008. So yeah, but that was basically what I did: accounting and finance for 7-8 years, and then I got my MBA. And then I was trying to use my MBA to get the hell out of like accounting and finance, and for some reason that just didn't work. I was trying to pivot out of it. But I didn't know exactly what I want to do in entertainment. I don't think I was maybe as focused enough. And I spent so much time getting into the MBA program. I was just like, I'm just exhausted right now. I'm just like, I'm just gonna like have a little fun and relax. And that was probably the wrong approach. I just wasn't as targeted and focused as I need to be. I did have an internship at Disney, and I was kind of on the right track, but I was doing finance. I was like, this is not what I want to do. And I realized I wanted to do some blend of like the creative with the business stuff, and almost like be a talent agent or producer. But then I was too old at that point. So, I mean, I don't know. I was going in all these like different kind of like directions, trying to figure out what my lane was. But I am still very passionate about entertainment, the creative stuff. I realize now in entertainment, I would like to be like a producer, like, which is completely like, if you look at anything I've done, you'd be like, wow, like he really hasn't worked like on film sets or TV sets, but this is like, I know that this is what I'm best at. And I'm kind of doing it in a micro scale on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's sort of my like I look at my LinkedIn as a TV channel. So like when I'm doing my content, I program it like a TV network. So I'm testing it out on a micro scale, but this is like LinkedIn to me is like a launch pad to something bigger that I want to do. So
Yeah.
when it comes
Yeah.
to entertainment's still if I really really put, if you really just like put a gun to my head and said, this is what is it that you want to do on this earth? I think it's still produce like TV, film stuff, like on a kind of like a large scale. So yeah, that's still my
Wow.
passion. I wrote a TV pilot called Figuring It Out, about 4 guys in their 40s trying to figure out their love lives, their careers, and their finances. So it's like almost like a male version of Sex and the City.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I wrote a screenplay. Spent almost $30,000. Hired a writer called Jacuzzi Jones, the Reindeer Whisperer. I envisioned Will Ferrell as the lead. It's crazy. It's a wild movie. I chased him off an airplane once to pitch him the movie. He looked at me like I was crazy. I've explored some other ideas as well, but those are my two babies. I still think could be amazing. I spent this I was like, during this whole time when I had like accounting and finance jobs, behind the scenes, I had like my side hustle, which was really just developing like creative material and trying to find my way into maybe getting into like, large scale TV producing, or film producing. So yeah, that's, it's hard though. It's very hard. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah,
I can imagine that.
I'm complicated. I have so many things like I have tried, but I just try things and then eventually I just like try something else if that doesn't work. So I'm constantly pivoting and iterating. But at the end of the day, I love the intersection of creativity and business. I think that's like, if you had to really boil it down, and that's what I try to do on LinkedIn. I'm having fun. I'm programming. I'm really trying to entertain people, I think, at the end of the day, and educate them and inspire them. But at the end of the day, like when my LinkedIn is my TV channel, and I just want to connect and interact with my community, have some fun, and hopefully they come back the next day. So that's it.
Okay. Oh, so much to unpack there.
Yeah. We could probably make this like a 10 series episode.
No, it's so great. Okay, so what's coming up in my mind, which is just, it's wild for you to have known on that first day that this is not what you wanted to do. Like, and I think so many people go through that. Like, I actually had not the opposite, but I took those 2 years off. I went to live overseas, figure it all out. And then I had a moment while I was still studying. Someone came as a guest lecturer and told me all about learning and development. And I was like, this is a job I'm in. So I had the opposite. I was like, found my thing right from the get-go. So how did you then, from knowing on that day one that it wasn't for you, how have you found what you wanted to do, or was it just always part of you? Tell me that story, because I think so many people are in your shoes rather than mine. I'm actually the only person I know that found it from the beginning.
How did I know? How did I know? I just, you know what? You just kind of know when you're in the wrong place. And you're just like, these are not my kind of people. This is not what I want to be doing. I think I'm very like, I guess I'm a dreamer. I always have like this idea in my head of like how I want my life to play out, how I want it to end, what I want to be doing. And the whole time I remember the whole time I was at KPMG and stuff, my favorite part was I was writing these crazy, funny, creative emails and making all my like colleagues laugh. And like, I remember one of my colleagues showed his mom and she's like, oh my God, he's so talented, whatever. So I always had this creative writing gene in me, even though I was supposed to be doing like really serious business stuff. I was writing, I learned how to like write business stuff too and do analytics. But yeah, the whole time I was like starting to like just kind of do that on work time, these creative, funny emails. They're just like, so I was just fighting it. Like I was fighting it. I'm like, okay, I'm in this little job and I'm showing up. But the reality is my passion, the thing where my energy is always going is these wild creative ideas. But I never was formally trained. So it was just something I was just like starting to do on my own. And then I think it was a point where I was like, I got the confidence, like, wait, I could do this too. I could be, I don't need to be trained to be creative. I'm naturally creative. So, and it's taken literally probably that whole time, like since that day one until now, I've I probably like maybe in the last 5 years say, okay, wow, I'm like naturally creative, and I'm not going to say I'm a creative genius, but I'm just like, that's my DNA. I love to create. I love to like jot down ideas. I can create. I mean, I can do 5, 10 LinkedIn posts in a day if I want. I can do that all the day, every day. I can just wake up and just create 5 or 10 pieces of content and not even have to think about it.
Wow.
Like it's natural. So yeah, that's what I love to do. I love to create stuff, but I also understand it's a business. So you need to figure out how to take that creative energy and your ability to create amazing stuff and monetize it, right? So that's why I have my MBA. That's always like the tricky thing. So I mean, a lot of people and most projects in Hollywood, like films, most of them are failures, right? It's all the ancillary stuff. If it's a portfolio theory. You're just hoping for that one that pop, and then that'll pay for all the other ones. And then, in this new world of social media, the creator economy, yeah, it's a great buzzword. But I mean, there's not many business models out there right now that really support a lot of creators making money in this. So there's a few creators obviously doing super well, but how's that any different than actors and other like A-list talent on Hollywood that make, money? It's a very similar structure right now. So I know a lot of people are trying to figure out ways to create business models to allow other creators to make money. Not just I don't know. I don't know how scalable it is right now yet, the way it's currently constructed. I think it's a dream that a lot of people have been sold, but the reality is, like, if I was telling anybody, like, just go become a doctor or a lawyer or a tax accountant or something boring and mundane that people are going to pay for, and it's never going to go out of style, right? So going down a creative path and trying to make money on it is it's a wild ride.
Yes, that is the path I'm on. So I was
Yeah,
going to
wild.
ask you, have you found the trick of taking creative energy and monetizing it?
Um, I'm getting closer by the day. I have kind of a vision. I think I can take some of the, like, that passion I have for Hollywood and storytelling, and apply it to LinkedIn. So I'm kind of starting to not explore. I'm actually starting to take the steps to start creating third party short form content that I think will play super well on LinkedIn, like 1 to 2 minute short form episodic content that I think brands would easily lean into and pay for and sponsor, because the brand partnership model on LinkedIn really doesn't work the way it is right now. I've done a few brand partnerships. I just don't think it works. You have somebody post about this brand that you probably can tell they probably never even used the brand. They don't care about it, but they're being paid to promote it. So I want to do some. I have a few different ideas I'm currently developing. One of them is probably we're going to start producing it here in the next probably 4 to 6 weeks. Test that out. But I think this is stuff where we can then get brands to pay for it, fund production, advertisers to get attached, and I think so. That's kind of like the lane I'm going. I'm doubling down on LinkedIn, so I'm gonna try to explore a little YouTube stuff as well. But I do a lot of video content, so I'll probably just partner with somebody who knows that platform. But I'll take a lot of that video content as well and apply it there. But yeah, that's yeah. So I'm deep on the platform, and I've had some pretty decent success. But I still even me is still trying to figure it out. But I'm getting close. I'm persistent and hell-bent on making it work, because this is the platform where I have a very active and engaged community. So, and I love to create content. So I'm just trying. I'm actually trying to create one of those business models that actually people could actually replicate and also make money. So
Yes, please
yes, please,
send me
yeah,
all the things, because
yes,
that is what I
yes.
need. In terms of sponsorships, I'm seeing, okay, so obviously Instagram is crazy with that, like, buy this thing that I've never used. But LinkedIn, I'm finding, and this is actually where I'm going, is trying to partner with the right people. So partner with people who actually know your product or have used it, or, like, I have a course. So partner with people who have been through my course and who really liked it. So it's more natural and stronger relationships, like partnerships, rather than affiliates, let's say. Like, what's your take on that? Is that what you're seeing there?
Yes. You want partnerships for sure. That's the way you're gonna like. I mean, a partnership is going to be how you're going to build a brand that's like fully, 100% aligned with you and kind of like what you're trying to do. I think the affiliate stuff is, yeah, I don't. People are like, oh, you should just be doing affiliate stuff, but I mean, I don't want to just like be a garbage dump of just like promoting a bunch of stuff. And I think I think there's so much noise and so much lack of authenticity out there that, like, I don't know. I just think owning that one-to-one relationship with your community is so important. And like, if you start going down the affiliate path, then it's like it's not one-to-one anymore. It's one-to-many, and then I think it dilutes your brand, and it's it's just not. I don't think that's the way to build an active and engaged community. It's just, I mean, maybe it makes sense business-wise. I don't know. I've just never. I've done a few brand partnerships, and I'll be honest, like. My gut was like, don't do this. It's not. It wasn't even that much money. It was like most people do not make that much money on brand partnerships. I mean, I would say the average person is maybe making 500 to 1,500 max per post. That's it. People in their head thinking that these people are getting paid $10,000-$15,000. No, no, no. It's like mostly like 500 to 1,000 is probably around. That's probably like the median, and then there's a few of the big ones. Maybe they get 30 to 40K. A lot of those people have cheated, by the way. They just use pods and they've jacked up their metrics. They don't even have real communities, but they just have so much traffic by kind of not playing by the rules. Because that's a whole other topic that I don't want to really get into right now. But LinkedIn's like at its core was a professional networking site, and it's an extension of your company and your professionalism. And the fact that people are doing this kind of cheating is just like that's what I think most people's pet peeve is about it. Is just like. You're not like this is professional networking, and this kind of stuff would not be tolerated inside a company. You get fired immediately, but on LinkedIn it seems to be fine, and these people are idolized, and it's whole. I speak about it time to time. I don't want it to be my sole focus, but it is annoying. So that's and then I negotiated. Actually, I was consulting for an A-list celebrity client, and I actually negotiated probably the largest partnership deal for one post. They got 100,000. So I've negotiated that personally. So I've seen the range from my end to like clients that I've worked with. So I've seen the range is basically 1,000 to 100,000 right now on LinkedIn. But I would say most people, 99.9%, are going to be on that $1,000 bucket.
Yeah.
So, which is not a lot.
No.
You got to do a lot of posts. And every time I do one of those, I always cringe. I'm like, I don't really want to be doing this. This is just it just feels just. I've done it. It just wasn't even worth it, and I don't want to do it again. So, unless it's a brand I'm passionate about,
yes,
like your podcast.
Yeah, it's got to be very aligned. Yes, absolutely.
Correct.
Okay, I want to pick your brain about creating that brand, that authentic brand, because, like, I feel like I engage with every single one of your posts. Like, I find like I know you, even though today is the first time we've met. So how do you build this brand? Like if you were to be giving, me advice or someone starting out on LinkedIn, I do believe it's a powerful platform, but what have you done that you've seen success? And yes, we can say probably the most used word, be authentic, but what does that mean to you?
I think it's, like I said before, it's like my personality is like slightly unhinged within professional guardrails. I understand it's a professional platform, but even some of my posts, I realize some of my posts, people like that work at like big companies, there's no way they're going to be able to like it. It's just way too unhinged, but they see it. But so that's why I balance out my content. So I like I said, I look at it like a program. I always wanted to be like a TV programming executive. I read like 2 books when I was maybe in college, maybe high school. I don't know, college, high school. One was Brandon Tartikoff. He used to be the head of programming for NBC. And then Warren Littlefield, who followed, I think it was his successor. He was the one that was responsible for shows like Friends and Seinfeld getting on the air. But I read their books, and so I have a matrix. I mean, I look at I program my content like a matrix. You have to have a mix of everything: the funny stuff, the educational stuff, the inspirational. You have to have something there for everybody, because I think different people in my community like different things from me, right? Some may like it all, but I'm not like, you just got to program everything, a little drama, a little comedy, little, documentary style stuff. You got to have it all in there. So that to me, and that is all my sides of my personality. So I show it all. It's 360. I think the issue that most people have, whether they put those boundaries on themselves or not, they stay within one guardrail. They're just like talking really just like this instructional, educational type stuff, and that's fine. And maybe that's their entire personality. I don't know, but I go, I've shown you it all. I'm dipping in and out of like different things. Some of it's completely unhinged, out of control. Other stuff's definitely more just like right down the middle, nice and professional. So Yeah, I'm not afraid to kind of push the boundaries of what like what I like, who I am. I would say content would be way better on LinkedIn if most people actually would just were 100% themselves. I feel like most people are not
Mhm.
themselves, and that's um yeah, I feel like if people really just spoke from their heart and were truly authentic, content would be so much better, so much better. But most people are following like very templatized things and very formulaic type stuff, and you got also
Mhm.
AI now in the mix, ghostwriters, a bunch of other stuff happening. But for
Mhm.
people that are creating their own content, yeah, I don't know. Show all your sides, all your layers. Show your
Mhm.
range. Mix it up. Different types of content, video too. Do it all. See what works. What doesn't work. Whatever it
Yeah.
doesn't work, nobody's going to see it anyway. So
Yes. Yes, I am slowly going down this path for sure. I'm trying to say what I say, speak like I speak. So, yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
All
I
right.
love it.
I
All right.
want to ask you something.
Yeah.
So, all of your experience, now think back, packing the truck, packing the semi, sorry, South Africa, we call it trucks, like to now, what was one of the hardest things you have been through in terms of your career, building yourself up? And then the second part to that question would be, how did you get through that and the mindset it took, the strength it took?
Um, Hardest things in my career. I think it was trying to pivot out of this whole accounting finance box I was in. It just took forever. It took me almost 20 years. So I was trying and trying. I've probably been trying to get out of it since 2000. So 15, 14. So it almost took me 10 years to get out of it. I worked for a startup for a little bit. Yeah. And then I ended up going back kind of in like this interior design finance space. But I wanted to live in New York, so I took the job and I just needed money. But then I literally took that job and literally regretted it like since the first day. And I'm just like, oh, I gotta get out of this. So then I tried to just like interview for other jobs and things like that. And it just, I couldn't do it. And then pandemic happened, world slowed down. I was probably like that for me. I took advantage of the fact that I felt like the world slowed down. Everybody was kind of like an equal footing. We're all in this weird space, time in society. So then, yeah. So that I was just applying randomly to jobs, and then I got this opportunity to work for this Mark Cuban company in the Web3 technology entertainment space, and that was really kind of like my opportunity to reset and kind of build my dream life and my dream career. So I didn't get the job I applied for. They said I was overqualified. So they brought me in and basically said, hey, just we're going to have you do a bunch of different stuff and show us where you can add value. So I was able to create my kind of dream job. I started doing events, partnerships, business development, posting a lot on LinkedIn. So I was, yeah, it was just an amazing opportunity to kind of reset things. So I'm super grateful for that opportunity. And yeah, I did I did so many cool things. I even brought in the lead investor for their Series A round of $7 million through my LinkedIn. That's how I got my TV show, my book deal. All these things happened from that moment. So, but yeah, it took 20 years to get there. So yeah, I was just never giving up. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess the lesson is
Yeah.
just don't give up. Just keep fighting and fighting. If you really believe this is where you're supposed to be, what you should be doing, then yeah, just keep fighting and don't give up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing that as a theme with you is you keep going. So like follow your
Yeah,
gut.
follow my gut.
And especially recently, especially in this latest, I mean, yeah, since 2020, you said, is that when you pivoted,
Yeah,
you shifted? Yeah. Okay.
2021. Yeah, 2021. Yeah,
Okay.
April
Yeah. A bit
2021.
roundabout.
Yeah, that's when
Yes.
I got the job. So,
Okay. All right. And you're still with them now?
no, no, no. I left there.
No.
I left.
Okay.
I went to another company based in London. They bought my events company, and so I was doing a similar role there. And then I started my own thing like a year and a half ago, and that's worked out okay. I'm gonna probably do something different though. So I started with a couple other people, but just they're probably like they're great people. It just wasn't the right situation for probably any of us.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm kind of like figuring out kind of my next move here a little bit, but yeah, we'll see. So I'm exploring a bunch of different things. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. That's a fun place to be.
Is it? Is it a fun
um,
place to be? Is it? I don't know.
it's
Yeah, it
In
depends. Yeah.
hindsight, it is. In hindsight, yeah, I was there probably last year.
Mhm.
Last year, May, I was like, I had no idea what I was going to do. So, and I am here, and yeah. So I want to ask you, what is something in terms of career building? Now you are finally at a place where you're enjoying I think, and just by your energy, it just feels like you found your thing, your lane, as you called it earlier. So what is something people are not talking enough about when it comes to that, to finding a career, job, whatever it is, having your own business, whatever that looks like for people? What are people not speaking enough about?
Wow. What are they not speaking up? I would say they're not speaking about, like, if you decide to do your own thing, how hard it is. It's so hard. It's incredibly hard. So my best advice would be, like, if you're gonna thinking about going on your own path, like, do it while somebody else is paying for paying your bills and really trying to figure it out. But that's a lot of hard too, because a lot of jobs are demanding and require so much time, and you don't have energy to pursue your own thing. But yeah, I mean, I think I mean, we're just in a weird place in the world right now. You have all these emerging technologies coming faster and faster and faster, trying to figure out how to work with them. And obviously AI is going to make a lot of jobs go away, but maybe it'll create new opportunities. I just think, just so much talk about technology, AI and whatnot. But when I see this, like, we're missing the human element, right? Like, how is going to make the world a better place? I feel like that's probably the most important thing that's being missing from any of these conversations. Everything is always so data driven and just like technology driven, all this cool technology and how much they're making, this and that. But you're kind of like, I feel like the human element's missing so many times out of these conversations. Because my understanding about technology was that it was going to help us do our jobs better, so that we create more free time, so we could actually enjoy, like, life. So, but I feel like it's done the opposite. I feel like it would turn us more into machines. I'm not even worried about the machines. I feel like the machines are going to be more relaxed than we are. We're out of control. So as humans, I feel like I feel like most humans, like, are not taking weekends off, you know? I mean, that's a luxury now to take your weekend off. I feel like we're just working all the time and never stopping. So,
Yeah, yeah. As I am off last weekend, worked the full
yeah.
weekend. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is, I love that you brought that up. Because yes, I do think the machines are going to be so relaxed. We're
Yeah.
going
Compared to
crazy.
us. Yeah.
And that is, and I say, like, I am employed because people are forgetting how to talk to each other, how to connect. Like, that is why, I mean, go into most of my clients, they say they have a performance issue, or they're going through something, or, the business is changing. And then I get in and I say, or I just see people are
Right.
not talking to one another anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
no wonder you have a performance issue. So no one's talking. So yeah, it's oh yeah. What is your advice on that one, if you have anything to say?
About people talking to each other more, or?
Yeah, just connecting. I mean, that's how I met you. I mean, I just
Yeah. 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 I mean,
randomly reached out. I was like,
stop
yeah,
looking at this all the time.
yeah,
This.
yeah,
This.
yeah.
People talk about the metaverse. We're already all in the metaverse. We're on this all day long.
Mhm,
I love when I
mhm,
talk about, like, when there's this idea of what the metaverse is. We're already all in it. We're in it. We're, like, mesmerized by these things. It's actually,
mhm, mhm.
I go to the gym sometimes and I just see people, like, you're supposed to be there to work out and, like, get your body healthy, and people are just, like, at their phone, like, just like they're zombies. I mean, the phones have turned us into a zombie nation.
Yeah. Yeah, sitting
Zombies.
on
We're
the bench
lost.
press,
I
scrolling
don't
through
think.
Instagram. It's not going to give you any biceps.
And then, but then you talk to a person, you realize how refreshing and alive you feel.
Mm,
I mean, I guess you should
mhm.
do some A/B testing. Just take category, like, just sort of, like, take inventory of how you feel when you look at your phone, those emotions, those feelings, and then compare it to when you're talking to somebody who really energizes you and excites you and wants to, bring the best out of you. So,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Do you have a mentor that comes to mind, that energizes you, that makes you feel great after a conversation? I mean, now or in your previous, in your life?
um, it's a great question. I don't know. That's a good question. Do I have a mentor? I don't know. I don't know if it's like, I just like a lot of different books and things like that, and just like figures, I love Ryan Serhant, who was on the show Million Dollar Listing. He's got some great books, really inspired me quite a bit. Yeah, just I think it's just different people. Like I love like motivational type books, so I would say I've kind of modeled a lot of what I've done after what he does. So I've watched his TV show and how he. I would say I built my brand very similar to what he's done. So I would say that's my sort of like a mentor. Yeah, he's amazing. So I mean, I haven't done it on the scale he has, but I did a TV show. I got a book like him. I built a pretty nice social media presence. So yeah, I'll continue to work hard and get to where he's at. But yeah, I would say he's probably my like mentor idol, even though he doesn't know it. So he's my side. He's my like, yeah, he's my top secret mentor that doesn't even know he's mentoring me. So
Yeah, I have many of those, so that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But I need to. But I would like to get more like in real life mentors. Like that's one of my goals. So I'm kind of like I need to seek them out. So yeah, I would actually think that's something more people should do. Is just seek out mentors. But because I had a mentor in undergrad and they had a program. But yeah, I think that's like something that's super important. Maybe not discussed enough. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've done a lot of that in the last year for myself as I was building my business, and I'm in a new country, and so I have reached out to people that have graciously spent time with me. It's been amazing. So yeah, I
it's
think
amazing.
people are willing to help more than you think they are.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we wrap up every show by asking one question. So,
Okay.
travel again, all the way back in time to young you. I think we give our 20-year-old selves quite a hard time sometimes, like, oh, if only we did this or this. But I think our young selves were awesome. They set us up for where we are now. So, if you travel all the way back, what would you thank your younger self for doing then?
Um, all the way back to what would I thank my younger self for?
Hmm.
Um, about going back to my 20 when I'm 20.
Yeah, just your early self, anytime. You choose a time.
Um,
Just your
yeah,
young you,
I think it's
13 year
I would
old,
thank
20
myself.
year old.
I would just thank myself for being adventurous and willing to take chances and risks. So I think that's because right around that time I took my first trip to Europe. I was scared to do it, but I had a friend who convinced me to do it. I would have probably not done that, but I decided, yeah, let's do this. Let's go on this adventure. And I think that really opened up my world to just like all the abundant and limitless possibilities. So, yeah. So I want to thank myself for taking that first trip to Europe and seeing like just different cultures, different ways of thinking, understand how big the world was. And I was like, wow, all right, this is a big world out there with lots of opportunities. So that's what I would thank myself for taking
Mm,
that first trip to Europe and really, yeah, I went for 5 weeks and then I went again like the following year for 3 weeks. And then it just, yeah, kind of snowballed and transcended into other parts of my life. So
yeah, that is awesome.
there we go. Wow. I didn't even know what I was going to answer. And then I was like, wow, there we go.
See, we always get
There you
good
go.
answers.
Yeah.
All right. So, how can people work with you? What's next for you? All the things. Like I said,
Uh,
don't
yeah,
say
yeah,
find you on LinkedIn. We know that already, but how can people
yeah,
actually work with you?
yeah. Right. So I'm actually going to start working with different executives on kind of how to build their LinkedIn presence. But I want to focus more on corporate training. I think that's where the real opportunity is. I think there's a lot of what I've seen is like companies are not fully leveraging the power of LinkedIn. So it's amazing. There's only a couple companies I've seen recently that have like empowered their employees to leverage LinkedIn. Hugo Boss. I see a lot of people at A16Z, the big VC company,
Mhm.
Bumble. And I think these companies more than likely they've probably been trained by somebody like me to show their employees how to leverage the power of it because it's a massive opportunity. People are just not utilizing it enough. So I want to focus a lot on corporate training. So I think that's probably my like next kind of like thing I want to tackle. I've toyed around with trying
Mhm.
to do the individual stuff. I'll do it maybe I'll do like 1 hour a month for certain executives at like Fortune 1,000 companies or maybe like 7, 8 figure YouTube creators or A-list celebrities. I've done that. I've kind of like worked with all those different people at one point, but that's like one part. But really, it's the corporate trainings. I think that's going to be kind of like my focus. I'm advising a few startups. I'm getting back into hosting. Like I said, I'm going to Paris Blockchain Week. I'm going to be hosting their official podcast. I'm going to start this new show, How to Make Money in the Middle East, and I'm going to start exploring some short form episodic content ideas. So that's another thing. If a brand wants to explore potentially maybe advertising or producing some short form content on LinkedIn, then I'm your guy. But I think all signs kind of point to working with big brands and big companies on my next phase of LinkedIn. So I've done it all as an individual. I want to help others now at this point. So I'm about to hit 100,000 followers here in a couple of days, and that's like, it's a dumb milestone that I created, but I just want to hit it, and then I can move on with my life. So and focus on helping others. So that's it. But I know how to harness. I know how to harness the power.
Needed. Yeah, so needed. Because when I wanted to post on LinkedIn, but when I worked in a corporate, I was like, oh, I don't know what to say or do, or So
there you go. I know how to balance the line. I've done it for companies. I've generated over $10 million in investor funding and revenues through just my LinkedIn for the companies I've worked at. I also helped a celebrity generate a $4 million brand deal within 30 days of being on the platform. A bunch of other stuff. So I understand how to leverage it correctly to grow your brand. So
yeah. Very huge need. So I will be following for sure.
Thank you. This was an amazing opportunity. This was a fun show. I liked it a lot. It was kind of like mental gymnastics a little bit. It was fun.
Yes, I'm enjoying it, and the conversations I get to have, I feel so lucky. So thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.